Hidden within the cliffs of the Welsh coastline lies a church that should not exist. Carved directly into solid rock, surrounded by sheer drops and crashing waves, stands one of the strangest chapels in Britain. For over 1,000 years, people have climbed down to reach this place, and even today, nobody truly knows why it was built here. According to legend, a holy man named Govan once lived along this coastline during the early centuries of Christianity in Wales. When Irish raiders landed nearby, he fled toward the cliffs with nowhere left to hide. As the story goes, the rock face opened, just wide enough for him to slip inside, shielding him from danger. When the threat had passed, the stone closed again. In time, a chapel was built on the very spot where the miracle was said to have happened. Step inside and the space feels surprisingly small. Rough stone walls rise directly from the cliff itself, as though the building grew naturally from the rock. For generations, this chapel became a place of pilgrimage. Sailors are believed to have prayed here before dangerous voyages. Knights and travelers stopped seeking protection and blessing. Some came hoping for healing, drawn to a small stone well inside the chapel said to hold curative power. Even today, coins are left behind, quiet signs that the centuries-old traditions have never truly faded. Over time, this small chapel became far more than a hermit's shelter. It became a place of pilgrimage. Travelers walked for miles along the rugged coastline, descending the cliff steps in silence, believing that something sacred waited below. Sailors are said to have stopped here before setting out into dangerous waters, praying for safe passage across unpredictable seas. Knights and wandering pilgrims sought blessing before long journeys. Inside the chapel, a small stone well was believed to hold healing power. Some claimed its water could cure illness. Others believed that passing through a narrow rock fissure nearby would cleanse the soul of sight. Whether legend or faith, the rituals endured. And even today, visitors still leave coins behind, quiet offerings placed where centuries of hope once gathered. And yet, for all its stories, one question remains. Why build a chapel here? This is not an easy place to reach. Every stone would have been carried down by hand. There were no roads, no machinery, only determination. Some historians believe this cliff may have been sacred long before Christianity arrived. Others suggest it marked an ancient coastal pilgrimage route, long forgotten by time. But after more than 1,000 years, there is still no clear answer. Today, the winds still move through the doorway. The waves still crash against the rocks below, and the chapel remains carved into the cliff as if it has always belonged there. Visitors continue to count the steps. Some swear the number changes. Perhaps that is part of the mystery, a reminder that certain places are not meant to be fully explained. They are meant to be experienced. And here, on the edge of land and sea, the story of St. Govan's Chapel continues, suspended between history, legend, and something deeper still. Even today, the chapel remains isolated from the modern world. There are no streets nearby, no village surrounding it, and no easy approach. To reach it still requires the same descent people have made for centuries. Step by step, the sounds of everyday life fade away, replaced only by wind and sea. Standing here, it becomes easier to understand why a hermit might have chosen this place. The cliffs cut off the outside world. The horizon stretches endlessly outward, and time itself feels slower. Visitors often speak of a quietness here that is difficult to explain. Not silence, but stillness. A sense that this place has watched generations come and go without ever truly changing. Long before cameras and guidebooks, people arrived here with questions, hopes, and fears. Some prayed for protection, some for healing, some simply for understanding. And perhaps that is why the chapel endures. Not because every story surrounding it is proven, but because the experience of standing here feels real. The wind through the doorway, the echo of footsteps on stone, the distant crash of waves below. In a world that moves faster every year, places like this are increasingly rare. They remind us that history is not only found in books or records. Sometimes it is found in landscape, in stone, in the persistence of memory carried across centuries. And as you climb the steps back toward the cliff top, one last time you leave much the same way pilgrims once did, quietly. The chapel disappears behind the rock. The sea fades into the distance. But the mystery stays with you.